Hello, it's Dr. Karen again, and I'm here to share with you another memory. Now, the last memory that I shared with you was Hurricane Andrew. So this time, I thought I would share my memory of the Monument Fire. About 5 years ago, near my town, Sierra Vista, there was a huge fire that hit the mountains, and it was called the Monument Fire, and it caused a lot of damage. Now, my wife Mary and I had planned a trip to go visit my sister in Kansas, and we were packing up to go on our trip. And we knew that our house was not all that far removed from the fire. So Mary and I are packing our clothes and things, and then I stopped and I said, Mary, I said, there's a good chance they're going to ask us to evacuate while we're gone. And I think that it's important that I pack up all of our puppets so that we can take them to a safe place. And Mary said, nah, they're not going to ask us to evacuate. I says, well, they might not. Hopefully they won't. But there's a real possibility because this is a serious fire. So while Mary is frantically packing our suitcase, I'm frantically packing up a bunch of puppets into suitcases. And we did take the puppets to a safe house. Not everybody has safe houses for their puppets, but we had a safe house for our puppets where we knew that the fire would not burn them up. And we went on our trip. By the time we arrived in Kansas, we learned that we had been evacuated from our home. And we were somewhat surprised. We didn't expect it to happen that quickly. But I was glad that I had packed up all the puppets and at least they were safe. Everything else was in danger, but they were safe. And from that time on this visit, every single day, we would check multiple times to track the fire to see how close it was to our house. And as the days progressed, it got closer and closer and closer to our house until we recognized the names of the buildings that were burning because they were only a block or two away from our house. So that was when it really got scary. On the other hand, I was working for the US government at that time as a civilian employee. And every single day while we were in Kansas, we would get a phone call. And they'd say, Dr. Karen? I'd say, yes, this is Dr. Karen. And they'd say, well, we're just checking to make sure that you're safe. And I said, I've told you, I'm in Kansas for a week. I'm safe. But they were ordered to call me every day. So every day we would get this little call reminding us once again that our house was in danger and us telling them that we were safe and we were far away, but the calls continued until we came home. When we finally arrived home, we found out that we were still evacuated from our house. We could not go home. And the nice thing was that the government decided to put us up in a hotel until the evacuation was over. So Mary and I stayed at a nice hotel. I was going to work every day, but we enjoyed our lodgings. And eventually they did let us go back to the hotel, to the house. And much to our surprise, when we got back to our house, not only it was in perfect shape, the fire hadn't touched it, but also there wasn't even a smell of smoke in our house, which surprised us because the fire was so close. It was really close. Buildings only a couple blocks away from us burned down. Now, one house burned down that was even closer, but we found out a few months later that that house was set on fire by the owner who got picked up for arson. Apparently, he wanted to get rid of his house and he saw the perfect opportunity. So that house didn't burn because of the fire, but this person burning his house down put everybody in the neighborhood in additional danger because all the houses around him were in danger. It was hot, it was windy, and it was dry. And there were fires all over the place, and that one easily could have spread. So if nature didn't get us, our neighbor might have, but he didn't. So that was a good thing. Anyway, that's my story of this disaster. It's important to note that when I told you about Hurricane Andrew, if you noticed, I wasn't there for Hurricane Andrew. I arrived after it had finished. When I arrived, I saw the aftermath. I saw all the palm trees out on the lawns that had been uprooted. I saw the houses that had been destroyed, and I saw the people whose lives had been damaged through this storm. But I wasn't there for the storm. In this story about the Monument Fire, if you noticed, we really didn't have that big of a problem with the Monument Fire. We left before we were evacuated. When we came back, we were still evacuated, but they put us up at a nice hotel, so we were comfortable. And eventually we returned, and our house was in perfect shape. So in neither situation did I actually directly experience the disaster. Now, with our current situation, i.e. the coronavirus, we're all experiencing that at some level. But again, Mary and I are fortunate because in our community, very few people have been identified with having the virus. In our county, very few people have been identified with having the virus. And so far, nobody in our county has died, knock on wood. And hopefully it will continue that way. So that's the end of my story about the Monument Fire. And I want you to know that telling these stories feels really good to me because I'm amazed at how articulate I am when I tell them when I still have problems remembering where the remote is, remembering what my wife just told me, and remembering what was on the TV show that we saw the night before. But for these old memories, they come back full blown, and I'm able to talk about them to you without a script in front of me, without much preparation, if any. I can just get up and talk. So I'm encouraging you, share some memories. It feels really good. And on that note, I say goodbye. Hi, it's Dr. Karen again. I'm back with what I call the one more thing segment. So what's the one more thing from this story about the Monument Fire? Well, it's not just about the Monument Fire. It's about the Monument Fire, it's about Hurricane Andrew, and it's even about the coronavirus. Luck plays a really important role in our lives. And sometimes we have good luck, and sometimes we have bad luck. Mary and I have been very fortunate, and we've had a lot of good luck in our lives and in our marriage. Other people, often through no fault of their own, have bad luck. So it's a matter of figuring out how to quote my wife, think positively, see the end to the bad luck, and things will get better in the future. And things will get better in the future with the coronavirus too. And on that note, I say, bye again. My name's Elwood. I'm Dr. C. I'm Nathan Wood. Real flesh, that's me. Psychologist. And Dr. Who are here because we care for you. Ta-da! Very good, Elwood. Thank you, Dr. C. Dr. C, what could have happened if the house really did burn all the way down to the ground? Well, we would probably had to get a new house. We would have had to make the best of it and kept on trucking. You don't own a truck, Dr. C. I know that. No, I don't own a truck. Keep on trucking is a phrase that means make the best of it and keep on moving. When something bad happens, make the best of it and keep on moving. Keep your life going. Oh, I understand. Well, I'm going to keep my life going. You are? Yes, I am. I'm going to keep on trucking until I get to say my last word for today. Okay, would you do that?
I will, Dr. C, I will. So, my last word for today. I didn't like being in my suitcase, not even one little bit. It's uncomfortable, dark, and scary, and I just barely fit. But when I learned about the fire, I felt better right there inside. I knew for certain and for sure that it was the best place to hide. It's not that I'm a fraidy cat, but when fire and wood do clash, I can quickly be changed into one great big giant ash. I thank you, Dr. C. You saved me, which is great. But why didn't you take me with you, so I wouldn't just have to wait? The end. Bye-bye. Adios. Sayonara. Ciao. Tschüss.